Hello and welcome. I am your main man. Today I'll be doing the first live play of a video game on my channel, Extreme Warfare Revenge. I'm just trying out this new software that I've downloaded and installed tonight with the help of a few of my buddies off of Facebook. Now, this is a game that I've played before, and I think it's very interesting. It's a professional wrestling booking simulator, so you essentially run the company and you handle all sorts of operations. It's a very different sort of game than you may be used to playing. But I'm going to show you a little bit about how you play. It's a little bit of a walkthrough, and you can get this game absolutely for free with all the skins or mods or whatever. They have tons of them, and they take you back by year and at times even months. You can get exact rosters, and it has tons of different rosters. You have Japanese touring companies. You can see over here in the Japan tab, you have tons of different groups, and you can just keep changing them out, and they give you different rosters. The roster here has, I think, almost 4,000 wrestlers on it overall, so there's tons and tons of people to work out. And before you come in here, you can modify any of them to change the statistics they give the wrestlers, or to add your own wrestlers, put yourself in the game, change your own staff around, whatever you want to do. It definitely adds a tremendous amount of possibility to the game, to what you could do in Extreme Warfare Revenge. I think it's quite an entertaining game, and I'm going to be starting Twitch, I think. The people have been on me, get on Twitch, get on Twitch, get on Twitch. I said, all right, your main man will come to Twitch. I'll bring in the live Within the Ring of Fire role-playing, maybe some World of Darkness role-playing, and we'll give you guys live sessions there, and perhaps even some Extreme Warfare Revenge as well. I think I might do a sort of more of a joke, more of a silly sort of group, which we're going to put together tonight to see how this flies out here, and then perhaps a more serious playthrough of this, so you can see the action. Even your main man might call some of the action himself. By God, stay tuned for that. I don't know how exactly friendly this game is going to be on your ears. It can get a little loud when it's flipping around through things. So we'll see. Hopefully, it will balance against the loud shrieks of my voice. Now, here's meetings, and this tab is really kind of the first place you want to go when you actually start your own game. And you can see like a lot of those are black. That means I can't access them. These I can. I have a scouting staff, a financial department. And you would charge, I mean, this game is detailed. Charge everything. I mean, I'm in charge. I can up and down all the costs of everything. You know, my merchandise, my house show TV, large show tickets. And it gives me suggestions like don't spend more than $10,000 per wrestler, or $5,000 per staff. And there's different types of contracts you can sign guys to. It'll show you how happy your wrestlers are, how who you need to push more. If they get upset, you can have a developmental territory, and you can have a training camp, to like a WCW power plant, and then a developmental territory would be like Ohio Valley Wrestling. And then you have Sophie. And I don't know, I wonder if this chick is like involved somehow in the game, or because this is definitely not licensed, but it is free, so that's a way to get around that. But the real life Sophie, so maybe I don't know, maybe she is a real person. They didn't just grab some random chick's picture, the first one they saw. It'll tell you how strong the market is. And we currently have 4 wrestlers on the roster. I picked up and added a couple wrestlers right away to the roster before we started, and this is your main man's pro wrestling. If you ever wanted to see how your main man may book a professional wrestling group, and we started with max money. This is an odd bit of a mod that they have. They have a ton of these mods. I mean, I don't know how many were on there, but probably, I don't know, 40 of them. Maybe that effect. I think that number's low. I think it's more than that. So you have all these mods, and it allows you, to keep changing the game around, making it different. This is the first time I'll be playing this. And the territories start off at different levels. You can have them global, cult, national, small, all sorts of levels. And the absolute lowest one is backyard. And each level has a rating 0 to 100, and all of them start off with a 0. All of them start off with maximum money for, I don't know why. I don't know why, if you had enormous amounts of money and you want to get in wrestling, you would start a little crappy backyard group. But in fact, that's what we do here. So, we're going to see how that works out. And she's going to give you a little help here to help get you going. We need to hire some writers, some wrestlers, handle production, whatever. So we'll see how that goes. And we go into other staff and search criteria. And we're gonna have to lower this because right now we can no staff member of higher than a 20 is even going to bother to sign from us. When you get big, you can poach staff members from other territories. You do all kinds of neat stuff. Just go to referees only. Sign up. We have Beautiful Bruce, so we'll have to get somebody named Beautiful Bruce. And these guys, like, he wants $10,000, but watch this. Like, we can drop him down to a 6-month, and you can see contracts range 6 months to 5 years. So it gives you a little option. But he says, I need job security. I want a longer contract. But he only will take a verbal contract. He will not sign a written contract, which actually would give him job security. So I don't want a written contract. So he has a verbal contract, which means at any time I can kick him out the door and not pay him anymore. But he wants job security. So let's offer him a contract at a year. And you can see this guy has a talent of 15, which, you know, that kind of sucks, versus 20, which also sucks, but doesn't quite suck as bad. We'll drop him down to a year, $16,000 per month. That's every month I got to pay that jabroni that. So, I mean, that's a jack to me, most assuredly, but let's keep going. Production, I don't think, yeah, they didn't have anyone I can sign on this particular version. Medical only, back. Okay, I can get somebody for medical. So, Deborah Rainbow or Santana Buttman. Yeah. Let's see what kind of money they want. So she wants $5,000 a year, or $5,000 a month, and he wants $5,000 a month. Okay. So I guess we'll just sign him because we're right here. Offer contract for a year. We're going to be able to get, as we escalate towards global level, we'll be able to have much better options. But I figured it might be interesting to show you guys where we start off here. Writers only. I want to sign a bunch of writers, though, unlike some of the other things. Damn, I mean, these guys are horrible. All right, so writers allow you to do angles. Some of these things I'm a little like, really? You can't do that. You can't figure that without a writer, but whatever. So, all right, I picked up 3 of them, and I don't know, hopefully that's enough. Let's go and have a quick look at the writing staff. Okay. All right, so that's all right. So we currently have 4 wrestlers, or 4 workers, excuse me, on the roster. We need to hire at least 2 more wrestlers. As long as this text will change, it'll mean the same thing. I've highlighted there, but they'll just say slightly different things. We need at least 2 more wrestlers. Our small roster makes us look unprofessional. Guys, you know, when I'm a 0th level backyard professional wrestling company, what I'm worried about is looking professional. We're not currently big enough to have house shows. So let's come here and make a bunch of silly names up for these. These go all the way up to pay-per-view, but we cannot run pay-per-views right now. We could try, but it probably wouldn't do very well. So let's call this. Boom! That's right, fool. And we're gonna go down here. Be in your mouth. Let's actually get that right. In your mouth. From the South. And that'll be our next show. We're just going to put 2 of them up for right now, I think. Announcer will be your one and only main man. And we'll come back and look at the... Oh, actually. Yeah, let's go ahead and make Jacques Rougeau de Mounty. He's going to be our color commentator. So, there's that. Now we're going to go look at other workers. It doesn't have a number here, but it does when you put the game together, and there were a lot of them. And there are a lot of them here. Fortunately, we're not going to go through the entire list because that, you know, just going through the entire list here alone and trying to, you know, manage out our money. And not everybody would sign with me, for example. Okay, here's Ahmed Johnson. If you can see a picture of Ahmed up there. But if we try to negotiate with Ahmed, he says, he does not feel your promotion is big enough for him. You know what I say? Fuck you, Ahmed Johnson. Bitch ass, ugly ass motherfucker. So yeah, Ahmed Johnson with his rinky-dink ass stats here, he thinks he's too good for us. For you and me, for the people, for the horde, for you grueling just he won't even wrestle for you. He won't even condescend to bring his bitch ass down there and have a match. Pearl River plunging ass. So we can see some various stats here. And this actually just has to do with his overness. He is too over for us. We need people that are not as over as Ahmed Johnson. Because, you know, Ahmed Johnson is scary over, right? And all of these run 0 to 100. over, just how over he is, how much people are into him, like how much, they're going to say, oh, Ahmed Johnson, I know him. And 55 isn't really very good, but, for a backyard level wrestling, I guess that's too much for the likes of us. Brawl is, just how well that man can go out there and start slobber knocking and clubbering on a man. And 60 is okay. If I'm on a global level or something, he would in no way would ever bother to pick him up. But at a lower level, you're kind of how this show works. You're supposed to start with, if you start off, you don't have to. You can start off anywhere you want, and there's tons of different ways you can play the game, which is a really attractive aspect to it. It has an enormous amount of replay value, and you can just go on. I don't know. I think indefinitely. However, the wrestlers, you can see he has an age at 34. They age every year. They have a birth month, and at the start of that month, every guy ages that's on that month, or every girl ages, and they slowly their stats start to deteriorate or to come up if they're really young. And you can even put guys who are under. You have to be 18 to actually be into wrestling, but you could put like a guy whose time hasn't come. Like one of the groups I was in, you had Jay Briscoe of ROH, them boys, pound them boys, and he's 14. So he's in the roster, which means when the birthday month pops up, and he turns 18, all of a sudden, boom, he's on the roster of guys you can pick up. So new guys can come in like that, which is an interesting way to set the game up to keep it kind of fresh. It's not like, oh, it's that same stagnant list of people I saw before. It changed a little bit, but they only go down to 0. So a speed and a technical of 3 each is absolutely horrible. And at 34 years of age, I mean, if I was writing it, I would certainly give Ahmed a technical more than 3. He was not a good technical wrestler by any stretch of imagination, but 3, I mean, that's ridiculous. A charisma of 56. Charisma helps affect like a lot of the angles they do. And the first time I was playing him, I was just all about charisma. Man, I wasn't even really paying attention to this because this game is a lot to take in at first. It's not that hard though. And conditioning is 84, but that's actually not good necessarily because conditioning pretty much stays around 100. It's just like he's not beat up. That doesn't change really for anyone. And you make a guy who speaks or doesn't speak. For example, you run an American company and you have a guy is from Mexico or Japan or whatever, you can put him in there doesn't speak. Or if you have the kind of guy who just his gimmick is he doesn't speak, like an Abdul the Butcher or someone like that, you could just check no speak and then you give him a manager. And any active worker can be turned into a manager, which is kind of cool. I don't know if Ahmed's going to have any. We're going to view worker relationships. He has no relationships found. These are really cool. You can have love. You can have love someone, and that's typically like you can make it, other ways, but it's supposed to be like a wife, a husband, a girlfriend, boyfriend, that kind of thing. You could make it woman on woman though, or male on male, if you wanted to have like a homosexual kind of deal. And I don't think love extends to like children or anything like that. I think love is just like a romantic deal, and then you have blood. So like if someone's like your wife would be love, your brother or father, because a lot of times people have multi generations. That would be a blood relative, and they like to work with the blood relatives more. That helps. In fact, we don't have that stat on here. There's another stat called morale, and that helps their morale. There are also a number of hidden stats that for some reason they don't display. Like how stiff the guy is, which means how likely he's actually to hurt someone, and then your guys can get injured. They can come up with cocaine problems. Literally in this game, they can say, "Oh, I have a cocaine issue. Oh, I need to go to rehab because I'm drinking," or they might do something because they're drinking, and then you can fire them or you can suspend them, and you get like all these incidents. You can have one of the cooler incidents I've seen is in fact, it happened to 2 of my workers on this one time I was playing it, and never again. I was running WCW, and they said, Ted Turner has an unknown daughter that now appears in a whirlwind romance. She marries, in fact, it was Supernova, and Kevin Thorne, who was also, I don't know, he had a bunch of gimmicks in WWF, but I had those guys, and they both got married to Ted Turner's daughter, and then it changed their status to creative control. No, it made them unsackable, which means I couldn't fire them. And I think they had unsackable and creative control. So that means they got to say yay or nay on the stuff I pitched them. Just like one of the things that ruined WCW, all this creative control contracts. But And that was a neat one, and they got a lot of them. So the game, it'll throw things at you, and you guys can get injured. I think the longest injury I had was like 16 or 17 months on a guy, which just takes him out of everything. Um, well, while it's not obviously option able to give you a perfect booking experience, it does a pretty damn good job. And the game is free, so for being free, it does an amazing job. These are uh, worker attributes. They have all these different things like high spots means they're going to take sick bumps from you on like Hell in a Cell matches or ladder matches, stuff like that. And they actually can get injured if you do that. They have a much higher percentage chance of getting injured. But it can be that can be pretty cool to end a match that way. Diva is for women wrestlers, but I think it does something specific for them as well. Oh, you also determine there's two different like attitude things, like attitude and I don't know reliability or like behavior. I think it's attitude and behavior, and both of those like they go 0 to 100, and you can modify that stuff, and then like that's the person that's more likely to come down with a drug problem, or cause problems, or start screwing people in the backstage, or come to work and be easy to deal with, or put people over or whatever, and so I mean it has a lot of it really has a lot of options. Trainer and booker, they're like non-wrestler jobs. So it means when the wrestler retires, and they do retire, that they might go over to the non-wrestler section where you saw me pick up some referees and stuff like that. And then when they retire, they could become one of those guys, which gives you an extra option. Fonz factor, all it says in the instructions is that means your character's like really cool, like he's really cooler than the Fonz, which to me, who isn't really? Than Henry Winkler, who actually sued Hulk Hogan. So I don't know why you would put Fonz related in a wrestling game, because fuck him, right? Menacing is pretty obvious. They're just kind of terrifying, intimidating sort of dudes, and that can help them with certain gimmicks because there's an enormous list of gimmicks too that you throw on the guy, and sometimes it won't get over, and sometimes like if your risk level, which we'll show you later, isn't high enough, their menacing won't really come through. You have shooting ability, which is like for MMA guys, and on this list there's an enormous amount of MMA guys. They got Anderson Silva on there, Boss Rudin, El Wapo, Frank Shamrock, Frank Trigg, and those are just casually just scrolling through the list very very quickly. Some guys that I noticed, so there's probably an enormous amount of them. Superstar look, they look like a superstar. It helps them out in angles. I think Fonz factor and menacing do too, and those things can also help them out in matches. It can help add to their matches, which we'll show you guys that are announcer. You can use that. I think it helps afterwards, but it also can allow your wrestler to become a color commentator while they're still working. So it could be cooler. For example, Ahmed Johnson doesn't have anything checked, but if he did, I could sign him up, and I could have Ahmed Johnson doing the color commentating while my announcer announces. So that's those. And let's go ahead and sign up a few wrestlers. And what would any wrestling federation in a backyard be without the likes of Greg Valentine? That's right, Greg Valentine. You're going to get signed up. And look at how abysmal his stats are at 50 years of age. Greg Valentine, what relationships does he have? He's got a lot of friendships, but he also has dislikes. He dislikes Vince McMahon. He dislikes Eric Bischoff. He has a friendship with the Honky Tonk Man. But Honky Tonk will talk mad jank about him if you listen to Honky Tonk Shoots. Honky is awesome. Jake the Snake Roberts, Jimmy Hart, and Stan Lane. I don't know much about him and Stan Lane in real life, but the Jimmy Hart, the Jake Roberts, and the Honky Tonk Man, those are all familiar. Of course, I know who Stan Lane is. Don't try to send me stuff like that. Of the fabulous ones, of the Midnight Express, of announcing speedboat races, and of announcing at an absolutely terrible wrestling federation that is now closed. You can have two types of contracts: open and written. If you're a high level company, you want written. Fuck, it's a backyard company. Honestly, I want written because it really jacks you. You have to pay them generally more per month, but not that much more. And I have to pay this motherfucker $48,000 every time I book him. There is no indie league wrestling company that pays nobody no goddamn $48,000. That's ridiculous. And I can put them in a lot of different positions: main event, upper mid card, lower mid card, opener, and jobber. I'm not going to go through and explain what all those are to people if you don't understand professional wrestling. But you could also make him a manager, which affects something statistically in the game. You can sign him to a developmental deal, but I don't have a developmental now because I mean, there's no what could possibly be lower than a backyard wrestling federation. It's like, well, one day you'll be good enough to join our backyard wrestling federation. 50-year-old Greg Valentine, you piece of garbage. And you can make him a non-wrestler, which means you can only wrestle at like big shows, and he just shows up at normal shows, and he'll do interviews and cut promos and stuff. Kind of like Brock Lesnar is currently right now. If you made a current WWE roster, you'd make Brock Lesnar a non-wrestler because he doesn't really wrestle. But we're going to go ahead and sign him. And Greg Valentine agrees to the contract. He is apparently less stuck up than is the likes of Ahmed Johnson. Just fuck Ahmed Johnson as well. Oh, good Lord, baby, it's Ricky Morton, the Rock and Roll Express. And we are not going to bother to sign Robert, but we will take Ricky. As you can see, his stats are substantially better than Greg Valentine's. He has over of 29. Could this be the second coming of Ricky Morton? And Ricky Morton has a loyalty to Rockin' Rebel and to Robert Gibson. And this is another one you have. Loyalty is generally to a long-term tag team partner or to someone you train, like a mentor-mentee relationship. Ricky Morton did, of course, train Chris Cash or Kid Cash, who I have met in real life. And Kid Cash is fucking tiny. I was like, dude, you're like a halfling. He was trying to come around and dap everybody up, and I just got the ECW event. I just stood there and looked at him. I was sitting front row, of course, and I just didn't react. I just no-sold him and just looked at him. And he was like tapping it. He just stopped and looked at me like it was for like at least 15 seconds, just looking at me like he was confused as fuck. Like I ain't trying to get no dap from Kid Cash. This is back when he first came on the scene. I was like, man, this guy sucked. I actually kind of like him now, but yeah, he's because he stood, you know, I don't know, a foot and a half away from me, so I got a real good look at him. I will tell you, he is vastly smaller than your main man. He's like a small-sized creature. Loyalty to Chris Hamrick, who is much larger, and I've met Chris Hamrick as well. I actually got a picture of Chris Hamrick. Chris Hamrick is Confederate Chris Hamrick, who also was in the latter days of ECW. Jerry Lawler, and Michael Todd Stratton. I don't know who that is. I know Ricky Morton's father was a wrestler. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and sign Ricky Morton. He wants $27,000 a year. Remember, the way this started out was with maximum money. So, I mean, I can afford to do this. I don't know in a typical backyard wrestling federation if you would want to spend $27,000 per appearance on the likes of Ricky Morton. But fuck it. And if we're going to put a wrestling federation together for a little comedy value, who do we want? My balls, because that man has big balls, $11,000. We're going to go ahead and sign him up. And let's see here. Balls. Oh, next guy on our pick. Oh, who is it? It's a Jive Soul Bro. You understand what I'm talking about? And he has Fonz factor. So he is cool. He is slick. The first pimp of professional wrestling. Oh. And we are going to go... And we're going to pick up Typhoon. We'll see why in just a minute. Typhoon is going to get picked up. Okay, so we have that. For you RPG fans, I do have a professional wrestler for you. Vampire Warrior, otherwise known as Gangrel. We're going to go and sign him up and add him to the group in just a minute. Go ahead and sign a couple ladies here. Let's go ahead and get, not her. Let's get her Velvet Sky of TNA. She is 22 years old this time. She only wants $9,000, so that's kind of a little more reasonable. There was a manager. Let's probably change it at some point. Maybe I will. We'll see. Let's go get Juventud Guerrera. You can see his picture, and you can import pictures for pretty much anybody. Well, for anyone, you know, as long as you can find one anywhere. It's just not that hard with Google. You're going to sign Juventud Guerrera, and let's go ahead and get Jasmine St. Clair. Now, some of you may know her from her previous adult film career. She was, however, the owner of 3PW and associated with her boyfriend, the Blue Meanie. Yes, that's actually all real. And she was not very well liked, although she has superstar look, diva, and booker. Booker, as she... Let's hope she didn't book that product. I saw a few of their shows. In fact, I don't want Laura Mid-Carter. I don't want her as a manager. Oh, and one special wrestler I made just for this occasion. That's right, a man who'll do anything for money. A man with a gimmick, a legitimate athlete. A man well past his prime. A man who has done enough steroids to be a professional wrestler for sure. I'm talking about Jose Canseco, who was my first ever favorite baseball player. I'm talking 1988 Oakland Athletics when I got into baseball out in right field. Jose Canseco. And when I originally made him, I looked for the snitch gimmick because he snitched like a motherfucker on that steroids in baseball. But they did not have that gimmick, apparently. I thought they did. But they have a ton of gimmicks in this game. Of course, I statted Jose Canseco out. And his stats are not very good, but, you know, they're not the worst either. I gave him a superstar look. Oh, and a Fonz factor. Huh. I was very generous, apparently, to Jose Canseco. What am I going to pay him? $11,000 in appearance. Well, definitely too much. But Jose Canseco has actually been in celebrity boxing, and he appeared for Pride MMA on, I think, 2 shows. I think Jose Canseco has a MMA record, mixed martial arts, of 0-2. I remember watching him fight Giant Silva, who was formerly in the WWE, and Silva making him tap out to leg strikes, which I've never seen anyone else ever tap out to being kicked in the leg like 3 times. But that's your man, Jose Canseco. Next, we're going to go ahead and get Cheeks, who, as you can see, he's not very good. I don't know why his the... It's odd. This is like for wrestlers that are out of training camps. Cheeks is a real professional wrestler, and they probably gave him nothing. Yeah, they gave him nothing. And as you can see, I mean, he's fucking terrible, and he wants a lot too. $27,000. I got goddamn Ricky Morton for $27,000, and that's what Cheeks wants. But Cheeks was in TNA at some point for maybe 1 or 2 matches. He's a morbidly, completely. I mean, but y'all, I don't know what the category is. Y'all morbidly obese is. He was like 3 Gouilles to the wind. You understand, baby? This enormous black dude. It's just fat as fuck. But and it wore like he almost looked like a diaper. You know, he'd come in there and just drop that fucking fat ass on you. And I don't know. I find it kind of funny for some reason. So we have signed him. And I think that is going to be that. So let's go over here. Come to roster. We can see all our guys. I'm going to change something. We're going to change a couple of names here. And of course, Typhoon is going to become Shockmaster. For anyone that know Shockmaster from WCW, yeah, definitely one of those big wrestle crap botchamania kind of deals. Now, of course, I watched WCW religiously back then. I did see that live, and it was like, basically, imagine Typhoon or Tugboat to WWE, Uncle Fred, as what I can only really describe as an extremely flamboyant homosexual stormtrooper in a fucking furry cape that goes about fucking 397 pounds. That's what it looked like. And he walks out on the stage and, let's see. Do they have like a buffoon gimmick? A fool, maybe? See, here you can see gimmicks, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of these. I mean, I'm like in the middle. I don't even know. But, I mean, you can just see there's a lot of these gimmicks. But he comes out in this, like, main event slot. This wonderful slot. And I think he was going to be a 6-man on Clash of Champions or pay-per-view or whatever against, I want to say, against Harlem Heat and Sid Vicious. And he was going to be teaming with Sting and Davey Boy Smith. You can look him up on YouTube and see if I got that right. But it's become sort of a cult deal. And he comes out and breaks through this wall and then trips over a plywood. Not plywood, actually a beam that they had put there. And just trips completely over it. His helmet fucking rolls off. And Ole Anderson is away from them, doing basically the fucking bootleg Black Scorpion voice. Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious, tonight I am here to balance the score. And he keeps talking while this dude's fucking face planted on the fucking ground. It was a fucking abomination in professional wrestling. So because of that, the guy went from a gimmick that surely wouldn't have gotten over, but would surely have gotten him more than he did, to basically just completely destroying his career. I don't know if he's dead now. I know his well, quite honestly, far more talented tag team partner, Earthquake, who was a shoot sumo wrestler, is is dead now, unfortunately. I thought he was an extremely underrated wrestler of the Earthquake, but I don't know. I mean, cheater. Yeah, I don't know. Really, what kind of gimmick to put on him? It'd take a while to think these things through, and these are things I would do off camera. I plan to start a Twitch. There's a Twitch, Twitch account. Tons of people have been on me about that. Bringing the Within the Ring of Fire over there, bringing the maybe some vampire or mage games over there to watch. I'll let you guys know so you can come join me. And I might do like a more of a comedy version of this game on there as well for live plays, and I might do a serious version as well. So this guy is going to be, I don't fucking know. Well, whatever. Oops. I didn't plan to make him fire royalty. Technically geek, I guess. I'd have to look. And you can't change your gimmicks all that much because it screws them up. As you can see, my roster sucks. And it's supposed to because, well, it will with a few exceptions. But it is supposed to. And we're going to take the Vampire Warrior and we're going to make him Gangrel. This motherfucker, you can watch my video that I did, an interview with Mark Reinigan, the creator and designer for Vampire the Masquerade. And he can tell you all about that. Well, you'll hear all about the initial Gangrel, where Mark first heard about it, how it became licensed to the WWE, all that stuff, which it's pretty cool stuff. Well, you come over, you got sponsors, developmental territories, training camp. But when Mark ran the I Am Zombie, we tried to get Gangrel to play because he's a real role player as a shoot, and that motherfucker wanted us to pay him like hundreds of dollars per session. I was like, "Are you fucking out your goddamn mind, Gangrel?" So I'm like, "Fuck you, Gangrel. You can be dealt with now accordingly, son." But yeah, I thought it was kind of a fucking ridiculous move, particularly after all the money he made into WWE, and partly because of that, he can't jump in a game. I'd think he would want to, but he did not apparently. But we did reach out to him. And then you can see here, these are pay per show. You get that much money per show. This is horrible amounts. I have a higher, I'm going to show you why. My, these are all minor ones. But this is something you want to do immediately. Get your guys. You might want to start off with a lower risk factor than I am going to do. And they have like little lines for them. This, Manton Fazell, we'll shit in your hands. Trust us. They put in there somewhere, serious, but most of them aren't. But they have like real sponsors. Like you can get the serious sponsors. Like I think you get like Budweiser, Little Caesars Pizza, Domino's, Pizza Hut, HBO. I think major movie studios are on there. There's some other ones that are like really like Pepsi and Coke. Those, for example, you can see I have all this money. Typically, you would start with very little money, but you can get all kinds of mods. This is just how the mod came. I made my own company, but I matched it up exactly to this because all of them are laid out with the exact same specs. So I just spec mine out to look identical to theirs. They want a production value of 5%, so I don't know. Just give them 5%, I guess. So, but this is your advertising, which ours is 0. Merchandising, that's 0 as well. And this is the risk level that goes 0 to 100. 100, like the higher it is, the more options you get. Also, you can see the size there. You can see my finger. The size there is backyard, and there's a whole bunch of different sizes. So that goes up, and it's based off public image. That goes 0 to 100, and once it hits 100, it flips over to 10% for the next group. So this is like the object here is competing to get higher and higher and higher to see who gets higher, and then you can start signing better and better and better talent, which is can make the game interesting. The based in can be Canada, America, or Mexico, and then touring companies are out of Japan. They do not have any wrestling in this game in Europe for some reason, but if you're European, I'm sure you could just base it in America or Canada or Mexico and just pretend it was in Europe. Give it like a European sounding name or whatever makes you happy. You get your email here from the game, like these bitch-ass sponsors are thanking me. And Velvet Sky says, good idea to hire Jasmine St. Clair, boss. I don't know why they're associated, but I can show you why she said that. So, Jasmine St. Clair, you view relationships. Friendship to Jasmine St. Clair. Loyalty to Jason Knight. So, I don't know why she has those, but she does. Now, we have our events, we have our announcers. You can see over here feuds, which you know, you can run 8 of those at the same time. You can make them up to 4 people in the same feud, and those you have the heat rating there. When feud's in, your guys can get more over, or you can just job someone out and like hurt their overness a lot, like kind of like the old pro wrestling philosophy. You know, on his way out, the guy does a bunch of jobs. Basically, so he's not that over necessarily if it's on TV. You know, WWE might want to job a guy out, and then so when he gets to WCW, say you know in 1996, he was less valuable, for example, and you can literally affect the guy's overness. You know, by causing it to drop like 12 points. And remember, it's 0 to 100, so you know that could be a pretty titanic loss. Sometimes guys will refuse to feud with other guys, but you can make them. But if they have creative control, they won't. But that can really fuck their morale up. We can go to the next day. All right, right here we can do specials, which they have a different cost. You know, right now we have some ridiculous specials. Hire a better ring. We can get a better ring. Our ring is shitty. So we're going to spend $5 grand on a different ring. No, I don't think so. We're going to have local college band to play, because that's what turns the folks out for your main man's professional wrestling. Actually, we're going to go back. We're going to establish a title. We can make as many belts as we want, or I don't know. Maybe there's a limit. We're just called the Your Main Man's Professional Wrestling title, and we're going to put that in as vacant. But add belts. You have a lot of options. You can make the belt a lower level title, a mid card title, upper mid card title, or a main event title, which is kind of cool. And you can make it a singles title. If you uncheck that, then it's a tag belt. You could check that as a women's only title. But if you don't check that, women can compete for any man's belt. It just says no gender restrictions. So you could have like China held the IC belt, or Daphne held the cruiserweight belt. You could have a woman hold a man's belt if you wanted to. Your male wrestlers generally will complain if they have to lose to female wrestlers, so their morale can get destroyed, you know, if they have to do a job. But you can make them as long as they don't have creative control. Well, you can make it a lightweight title. You can see like that has no weight restrictions, so I could have Cheeks hold the belt, or you know I could have fucking Juventud Guerrero hold the belt, whatever, or put it on Velvet Sky, you know, whatever I want to do. So that established. And then, you know, you can really make it intricate and get a huge booking strategy and sit down and act like, you know, you're really booking the deal out. We're going to hire a local college band to play. And we're just going to go with some quick stuff here for you. Your segment types, you have 3: match, interview, and angle, and they expand each exponentially. So we're going to go with an interview, singles worker, and guess who it's going to be? Oh no, it's going to be Jim Cornette. Who could Jim Cornette target in his first interview here in our dirty ass backyard wrestling federation? Oh, it's Vince Russo. Oh no. Verbal attack on Vince Russo, which is essentially absolutely any of Jim Cornette's podcast, interviews, shoot interviews, anything he does is pretty much an old promo or video. Jim Cornette has said horrendous things which may constitute criminal actions against Vince Russo. And I would tell you this: if Vince Russo came up fucking missing, I think the police would be down at Casa Cornette in Kentucky to see what was really good down there. But we're going to book an interview with Jim Cornette for our first segment. For this, I need 4 matches and 6 segments overall. This is like a dark match kind of deal, because these are designed to be pay-per-views. On a small size house show, a dark match doesn't make any sense, as there wouldn't be such a thing. There could be an opener, and it does give you another slot to stick somebody in. I don't know why I looked at my feuds. I have not established any, but we're going to go over to this slot actually, and we're going to have some women's action, women's professional wrestling action. And these women may like each other. They may be on each other's friends list, but perhaps not after tonight, as we're going to subject them to the most horrifying of professional wrestling matches. In fact, we're going to have to go back to do that. We are going to subject them. Now you can see we have match types. These expand out with both your level of violence you allow for and the level of your company. I don't even have a cage match option right now, and I certainly don't have Hell in a Cell but I do have barbed wire because that's not expensive. So it was going to be a barbed wire match against, you guessed it, Velvet Sky and Jasmine St. Clair. One of the most horrendous matches. See, apparently Velvet's flawless skin is going to be looking like Dusty Rhodes, and she's going to have a +5 hide rating by the end of this match. I'm talking about natural armor class, baby. She is going to be scarred up from the get-go. And at the end, I think Jasmine St. Clair's going to get a revenge attack on her. And why the hell not? We're going to go here. We could debut him because it's technically the first deal. In fact, let's go ahead and debut Velvet Sky. Why not? And that's giving us a match. Now, let's skip over segment 3. Come to segment 4. We're going to have an interview here as well. And this interview is going to be a singles worker again. Because, again, I don't have very many workers. This is going to be Vince Russo. So just wonder who his target might be. You guessed it. Old Jim Cornette. What are we going to have? Another verbal attack. And why wouldn't you? I just kind of imagine this promo, this interview, the promo Vince Russo is cutting. Something like, come on, bro, Rihanna, bro, Jim Cornette, bro, the brand, bro, Pyro and Ballyhoo, bro, don't get my merchandise off Pyro and Ballyhoo, bro, come on, bro, Oklahoma, bro, Bret Hart, bro, come on, Vince Russo. Yeah, so something about like that in a far more strong New York accent than your main man could possibly bring to muster upon his lips. But something along those lines. Vince Russo, again, one of my absolute favorites to listen to on YouTube. He has his own channel. Just Vince Russo, I think. I think Vince Russo. Very entertaining. And he's like super positive, which is interesting because despite, David Arquette and Oklahoma and all of these things, he kind of comes out as a baby face. Jim Cornette monstrously assails him with incredible slander and possibly even death threats at times. So we're going to go on. Ooh, I do not have very many baby faces. I needed to flip someone. Actually, I think I was going to flip Shockmaster, but oh well. And we're going to have another singles match because we got to have more matches. And the people want Balls Mahoney. We're going to have Balls Mahoney against homeless Greg Valentine in a soup kitchen on a pole match. And let's see, we're going to have to go ahead and let Balls Mahoney win that one, I think. All the fans will agree. Balls Mahoney cleanly over the homeless one. And let's go ahead and have up here Greg Valentine refuses to shake hands. I think that's what Greg Valentine would do. Let's go ahead and put Balls Mahoney over and down. I'm talking about some action. I'm talking about some AC/DC bringing that man Balls Mahoney to the ring with his Captain Caveman look to himself in that own visage. Let's have one more match right here. And let's go ahead and put our announcer in this match. It's going to be the Mountie. And we'll have the Mountie versus Jose Canseco. Oh, God. Why is Jose Canseco going to get involved? This match, certainly not going to be a draw. We're going to have the cattle prod. So we're going to go ahead and go with, by cheating, that man, Jacques Rougeau, the Mountie, is going to go ahead and pull out his cattle prod and use that on Jose Canseco to his own delight and continue. And Jose Canseco will run away. What a piece of trash. What a coward Jose Canseco is, running from the Mountie like that. But the Mountie always gets his man. So Jose Canseco, I will definitely be bringing you back actually put Jose Canseco over there. But oh well, we'll be bringing Jose Canseco back against the Mountie in a feud where Jose Canseco will not win perhaps any matches. But we could definitely have some entertainment value there. Now we're going to have another match. What are we going to have? What's this match going to be? And you can see you have tons of base groups, one-on-one, a tag team, a three-way dance, of tag teams, a four-way dance. And you can make those all eliminations, or you can make those first pin. I like to do, eliminations because that's how that really gets down ECW style. 3 versus 3, 4 versus 4, 5 versus 5, handicap, and special. Specials are none other than Battle Royals. And tonight we're going to have a very special Battle Royal for you folks and for you fans out there in the barbaric lands. This is going to be a 10-person Battle Royal. And this is going to be the biggest event of the night, the inaugural $15 Battle Royal. $15 hung above the ring in nickels, and the winner is going to take home $15 fucking dollars. That is more than the entire budget of this show alone. $15. You saw we didn't even buy the special ring. Who knows what the fuck these people are wrestling in? They might literally just be wrestling in a backyard. But one man will take home a bounty of $15. That means somebody's going to the dollar menu at the end of the day. So let's just start putting people in. Cheeks. that ground better be reinforced for his fat ass. We have already, let's see who else can we see here. Jose Canseco, he ran away, but he's running back for $15, baby. Shockmaster, he's tripping over himself, but he's coming into that ring. A giant soul bro, he's looking for $15. Fuck it, put Velvet Sky in there. She needs some money too. Ricky Morton. Ricky Morton, I almost call Ricky Morton Punky and she. Juventud Guerrera, drunk and on many, many drugs, but he still looks for $15. We're going to find inside that ring Greg Valentine. You damn well know he's looking to compete for $15. And we're going to put Vince Russo in the $15 Battle Royal as well. And let's see one last person. Let's put Gangrel on there because fuck him too. And that's going to be done. 10 men, and 9 men and a woman have entered for $15 fucking dollars. Now, you folks at home, I'll give you a minute. You can pause the video if you need to, and you can contemplate in your mind who would be ruthless enough to walk home with such a bounty of nickels. Now, let's just take a look. Select the title. Fuck it. We're gonna put the Your Main Man Wrestling Pro title on the line, and that title is in fact a bag of nickels. So you can take that to the bank, or you can bring out and defend your nickels. Whether you like $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase title time. That's what I'm talking about right now. Is it going to be Cheeks? Fuck no, it's not going to be Cheeks. Jose Canseco, are you out of your goddamn mind? Who's it going to be? It's going to be Vince Russo. Vince Russo is going to be the winner of fucking $15, and he's going to be run up here by none other than Jose Canseco. Vince Russo is going to eliminate Jose Canseco for $15 fucking dollars, and that's going to be exciting action. Vince Russo in the ring afterwards to celebrate. We're gonna involve ourselves in an angle, and let's see what happens in the angle. Vince Russo still clearly going to be in the ring, and it's going to be very interesting. And let's just see what Pillmanization. Well, let's actually let you guys see what a Pillmanization is. A worker attacks and destroys the ankle of another person. So that's going to clearly be victim of Vince Russo. And who's Vince Russo's attacker going to be? That's right, the big bad booty daddy, none other than a fucking within the Ring of Fire ogre, fucking Scott Steiner. That man is the only man wise enough to wear actual armor to the ring. That man coiffed in chainmail coming down. A real professional wrestler. Vince Russo has the title. He must have got the book somehow, put the belt on himself, but at least he didn't put it on David Arquette. But Scott Steiner's going to make the man pay the price and make it so that man can never walk again. And that's going to be our show right there. So we're booking it. You don't have to, as you can see, book every. I left 2 of those blank. There's going to be 8 segments, and we're going to go through them just right now. Your main man on play-by-play. We have Jacques Russo de Mounty on color commentary. That's right, Jacques Russo de Mounty. And your main man de Mounty always gets his man. Jacques Russo, I say, actually I got a win over old Hulk Hogan, pretty good. Carl Roulette was there, my brother Raymond. And, we speak French there in Canada. And I'm de Mounty. I am always getting my man. So overall, you can see the rating. And these ratings go, I don't know what the lowest rating is. I've never seen one 0 or not even that close to 0. But right here, Jim Cornette is backstage. This should be good. He's laying a verbal beating on Vince Russo. Literally watch any Jim Cornette video really ever made. And that's pretty much that. But overall rating, 83%. They only go to 100. 83 is really fucking good for Backyard Wrestling Federation. But, here we go. Jasmine St. Clair against Velvet Sky for an overall rating of 11%. You can see that really drop. I did cheat a little bit to get a few of these people on here. I lowered a few of their overall ratings, and then some of them I just signed to written contracts beforehand. That's how you get like a Jim Cornette or Vince Russo. And Vince Russo is backstage. He talks trash about Jim Cornette. See, it's simple. They insult each other, build up some heat, then fight. It's not rocket science. Well, actually, Vince Russo was no part of Jim Cornette. That man does have a racket. In fact, if you look at his deal, his finisher is that tennis racket. So that's going to get involved at some point. We can surely see that. Greg Valentine versus Balls Mahoney, a crash at 29%. Clearly, that's not Balls Mahoney's fault. That's got to be on Greg Valentine. I'm just reading the match description in case you're too late to do that yourself. Balls Mahoney hits some punches, running knee lift from Balls Mahoney. Yeah, that's a little stilted, but anyway. Hooks the leg for a 2 count. Valentine blocks a kick from Balls Mahoney. Sharp kick from Valentine. I don't know why this turned a fucking Muay Thai match, but although it clearly missed. Some weak shots by Valentine. Now that I can agree with. Clearly there'd be some weak shots by Valentine. Weak slam from Valentine. I like this. I'm liking this. Then we're going to see the most boring hold ever in the front chancery of Greg Valentine in this match. I doubt it. Balls Mahoney takes the advantage after an I block your punch, you don't block mine routine. Spear by Balls Mahoney. Greg Valentine is in trouble. Nutcracker sweet! 1, 2, 3! Balls Mahoney extends his hand to Valentine, but is ignored. Yuck. Dud. The yuck dud part is a rating given by the Raider, and he shit on that match. In fact, we didn't even get a star rating. But what do you expect? I mean, you have fucking Greg Valentine, you get 50 years of age in there, stinking the joint out. So on to the next one. I'm not going to read all of the actual matches. Ooh, good lord. A lot of fucking shit here with Jose Canseco. This is a long one, man. Let's see. Let's just see the very end of this. He gets nailed with a set of brass knucks. Oh, man, I wanted a fucking cattle prod. The ref wakes up to see the pinfall. 1, 2, 3, it's over. Jose Canseco leaves the ring and heads down the aisle. Jose obviously didn't want any more of a beating tonight. Fucking splendid. Nothing worth seeing here. And I'll agree with that. I'll give it a half-star rating because I'm generous. This was a higher-rated match than the Great Valentine one, which apparently was a 0-star match. Even with Balls Mahoney, who's a pretty good hand, a Buddha Singh, Santa Claus, call the man what you will. The winner is Jacques Rougeau. Some of the guys, if you have them in matches, actually, like, they do, like, unique and interesting things. And they'll say, like, if you have Dusty Rhodes on color commentary, he'll go into routines. He'll start just talking about, like, talking to Tony Schiavone. Oh, good lord, baby, having a flashback. And he'll talk about clubbering. And so it's pretty cool to have Dusty Rhodes on your announcer because it adds more text. And, like, some of the guys, like, they'll start bothering you when they want to be pushed or they want something or they want to wrestle a certain guy. And some of them say unique things, like, and it's weird ones, too, like Angry Amish Roadkill, like, says stuff, like, chicken. Or, of course, The Rock, he says unique things. RVD says unique things. There are a couple others I've noticed who don't just say the generic lines. So this is the 10-man Battle Royal, $15 fucking dollars. That's $15 on the line. Shockmaster slams Ricky Morton down. Big John Studd would be proud, no doubt. Ricky Morton got eliminated by Shockmaster. Elimination number 1. Jose Canseco strikes Slick. Slick was eliminated by Jose. Elimination number 2. Jose beat somebody. I've never seen that before. That's the likes of which I've never seen. It clearly is obscene. But Juventud Guerrero strikes. Gangrel got thrown over the top rope by Juvi. Elimination number 3. Velvet walks into a high drop kick from Juventud Guerrero. Velvet Sky got thrown over the top rope by Juvi. Elimination number 4. Damn, Velvet just got jobbed. Russo hits a punch, but takes one right back. Clubbering. They be clubbering, Tony. Well, he wasn't even in this match. Dusty just ran down and hijacked the microphone. And said, you, Jacques Rougeau. Dusty Rhodes going to get involved, baby. It's going to be slobber-knocking time. And he goes, sorry, a flashback moment. Shockmaster went for the elimination, but Vince Russo held on to the ropes. Oh, Vince Russo is a wily, cagey one. Incredibly weak power slam on Jose by Russo. Russo tried to get Jose Canseco over the top rope, but gravity made the save. Jose at 245. Vince Russo at whatever his Gouye weighs. Vince Russo hits a weak elbow drop on Jose Canseco. The game just to give Vince Russo no kind of swagger at all. Russo went for the elimination, but Jose held on to the ropes. Vince Russo takes a right hand to the temple from Shockmaster. Shockmaster went for the... Let me move that up. Went for the elimination, but Vince Russo held on to the ropes. uninspiring brawling from Jose Canseco. Juventud Guerrera got bundled out by Jose. Elimination number 5. Big forearm by Russo, which was thrown so badly that Masawa is probably doubled up with laughter somewhere. Vince Russo hit some weak-looking punches. Some weak shots by Russo. Shockmaster got eliminated by Russo. How the fuck is Russo going to eliminate 397.5 pounds of fucking Shockmaster? Fuck. Weak-ass knife-edge chop. I actually said that. That's not my fucking additional commentary. That's what it says right there. Weak-ass knife-edge chop. That's something right out of my channel. From Valentine. Oh, yeah. You know Valentine will have a weak-ass chop. Ricky Steamboat would be ashamed of that chop. And Ricky Steamboat should be ashamed of Great Valentine. A true piece of trash of the wrestling business. Cheeks got eliminated by Valentine. Cheeks got like no offense in this match. Elimination number 7. Sluggish brawling from Jose. They are talking a lot about Jose in this match. He's getting a lot of fucking playtime for the announcers. Great Valentine got bundled out by Jose. Elimination number 8. Jose hit a stump pile driver on Vince Russo. I like the way the stump pile driver looks. Jose Canseco scores with a crappy looking standing spine buster. Jose just done nothing but crappy looking or weak ass looking moves. Russo drops out the back of a Jose Canseco body slam attempt. Jose Canseco got bundled out by Russo. I don't rate battle royals, nor should you. 30 fucking %. In fact, it's lower. It got a crowd reaction of 33 and a match quality of 35, but somehow scored a 30% over. Just probably for his sheer fucking shittiness. Oh, no! But now, the redemption for the fans. Vince Russo was in the ring with Scott Steiner, the big bad booty daddy. Freakzilla runs out and attacks. They brawl for a while before Papa Pump takes the advantage. And by brawl for a while, I think that just means Scott Steiner savagely beat Russo with a lead fucking pipe. He grabs a chair and floors Russo with it. He wraps the chair around the ankle of Vince Russo, then climbs to the second rope. He leaps off with a double-footed stomp to the chair, causing it to snap shut, pilvanizing Vince Russo, who rolls around in agony. Scott Steiner leaves, the damage done. So there you go. You got Scott Steiner. What will Jim Cornette make of this Scott Steiner attack? Will it be a possible alliance? Will Vince Russo pay the price again and again for that fucking $15 worth of nickels that he has fucking rightfully gained by defeating fucking gimmick of men and one woman and even Jose Canseco? So that is your first match overall rating of 53%, which is not very good. But I did have an upwards of 83% from a Cornette interview, 79% from a Russo interview. And you can see these matches we got fucking terrible, absolutely terrible ratings. So you have that, and that is going to be the first episode of EWR. Remember, you can go pick this game up and play it for free. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of insight there. I tried to shit, explain how to play this. I give you a little bit of liveliness to the action, build up a feud. If we do an episode 2, it'll probably be on Twitch, and we will probably be adding new and exciting bums of professional wrestling. Men that make Randy the Ram Rosinski look glorious in his elegance from the sort of life they have. I'm talking about we're finding crackheads, we're finding cokeheads, we're finding meth addicts, we're finding all sorts of degenerates and bringing them in and having them beat on Jose Canseco. And at the same time, we're going to have the big bad booty daddy there to punish men, to make men pay the price. And he's going to be there. Jacques Rougeau, the Mountie, is going to be there. We might, who knows, the Iron Sheik might be there soon, baby, or even the American Dream. But these are to be seen and to be continued. You understand what I'm saying? So that is your EWR live play number 1. Let me know if you guys enjoyed that, and if you guys have any questions about the game. And I'll try to remember to provide the link so you guys can actually go and have a watch for yourselves. I find the game to be entertaining. It has an enormous amount of options and possibilities and things you have to change, and you're constantly managing your roster. And I just kind of went through and slammed. I grabbed a quick angle, built the show around a $15 fucking in nickels for the title, and then Scott Steiner giving a beating, Jim Cornette and Vince Russo starting. You actually should not use a wrestler 3 times, which I did on this show, just because I needed that for the angle. I thought that made better play, and I didn't really care that much if guys didn't get over it, if fans were sick of them. Simply to give you guys a little bit of entertainment in terms of this match, as well as sort of walking through it and showing it to you in something less than a simple stammering monotone. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I have been